It's never easy to say goodbye, good night to a day at Belmont Park, and, well, the fans are still hanging out in the backyard. We've got some Santa Anita simulcast going on at NYRA.com and, of course, on track at beautiful Belmont Park, and we are settled in, off and running on this Friday edition of Belmont Insider. Jason Blewitt, Richard Migliore is alongside. We've got our third-floor clubhouse studios, and this was a pretty solid card, picture-perfect weather conditions, and a heck of a featured eighth race.
A terrific eighth race, and maybe a budding superstar. We'll get to that, but it is hard to say goodbye to a day of racing, but you can take comfort in knowing we'll be back here to do it all over again tomorrow.
That's right. Memorial Day weekend is upon us. We've got that live Monday card, a holiday. It is the Big Apple Showcase Day program, and here on MSG Plus at 5 p.m., the inaugural 2015 New York Racing Series gets underway with a live telecast of the Critical Eye. We hope you'll tune in for that, or at the very least set the DVR. A lot of workouts this morning, though. Holy smokes. We're 15 days out from the 147th running of the Belmont Stakes, and there was a proverbial army of 3-year-olds stretching their legs and getting workouts done here at Belmont Park. Todd Pletcher had all 3 of his Belmont Stakes contenders through timed workouts. Carpe Diem went out early, and your Bluegrass winner went 59 in company with the Peter Pan winner, Made from Lucky.
Yeah, interesting thing that Todd Pletcher does. He works good horses together, I think, because it keeps them in the bridle. They go quickly without having to be asked to go quickly because their natural competitiveness comes out. Carpe Diem and Made from Lucky showing they came out of their respective races in good order and are in good form, really fine fashion going to the Belmont Stakes.
Just 2 breezes between the Derby and the Belmont for Carpe Diem. Here's the less heralded stablemate of Carpe Diem, or less accomplished. He is yet to win a Grade 1, but a nice win here prepping in the Peter Pan. Of course, we need to go back only a year ago when that move worked so well for Tonalist.
The Peter Pan is just year after year been a good prep for the Belmont Stakes horses that didn't either run in the Derby or they skipped one and they came back in that. Tonalist, obviously, you can go back even further. Horses like Stage Door Johnny. I mean, it is AP Indy. He missed the Derby, right? Made the Peter Pan
right, sure.
Belmont double. So I like that a horse gets a race over the track and shows not only likes the surface, but the 1-turn mile and an eighth to me is just a really, really strong prep.
He'll try to go 12, as is the question mark, or at least hurdle in front of Materiality, the brilliant, lightly raced Florida Derby winner who had the troubled trip in the Kentucky Derby. He is outside with Hall of Famer Johnny V up for the workout today, outside of Stanford, the runner-up in the Louisiana Derby.
Yeah, an embarrassment of riches coming out of the Todd Pletcher barn, but Materiality, obviously, he's a very good horse, very unlucky in the Kentucky Derby, but could he win the Belmont Stakes in his 5th career start? It's asking a lot, although in this day and age, horses are less, or more lightly raced, I should say, and obviously he's talented. Mile and a half's a question for all of them.
Well, we know his dad did not have an issue with the 12 furlongs, at least on that first Saturday in June a decade ago. Pretty scary to think. 2005 Belmont Stakes, 10 years old. A Fleet Alex was terrific, and of course about this far from taking the Triple Crown that spring.
Yeah, he was probably very unlucky not to win the Kentucky Derby, and he was very good. And I always go back to his Arkansas Derby is what caused him to lose the Kentucky Derby. He was so hard-ridden through the stretch of the Arkansas Derby that it probably took a little bit of that starch at him for the Kentucky Derby, and when you only get beat, what, half a length for everything? Got to think it might have made a difference.
We already talked about Tonalist winning the Peter Pan and the Belmont Stakes on tonight's show. It Made from Lucky. And in talking about Tonalist, I can't help but think of his sire, Tappet, who stands for 300,000. And Tappet's got a legitimate shot at taking down another Belmont Stakes title with the Godolphin Blue and Frosted, winner of the TwinSpires.com Wood Memorial. And he worked this morning. He was inside, in fact, the Godolphin Mile winner, who was set to run in the Metropolitan on the Belmont undercard.
And they look like they're just galloping into the stretch. I mean, the thing that was impressive about this workout is how he went through the wire and how he galloped out. And I think this is, to me, the biggest threat in the Belmont to American Pharoah. I think he's going to relish every part of the mile and a half. You know he likes Belmont Park. He trains here. And Kieran McLaughlin already knows how to win the Belmont.
Yeah, he's already done that with Jazzle, big long shot back in 2006. Fernando Hara was aboard, and we'll see how Frosted does in the next couple weeks training here. Regardless, this is a world-class A-team kind of outfit with plenty of good help, plenty of good horses, and Art Magnuson caught up with Richard Migliore earlier today.
Artie, Frosted worked this morning. Looked like he worked well, but his gallop out was really good.
He galloped out very strong today. He does that pretty easily on his own. We did kind of mention to Renzo this morning, maybe go right through the wire a little bit and make sure we get a little something out of it. Next week is more of an easy half. This was kind of our strong week.
It seems like you guys don't usually use the riders. Now, Joel Rosario ride him, but the exercise rider worked him this morning, and I'm sure he gets on him all the time. Is he happy with him? Does he see any differences?
Yes, he's very happy with him. Rob Massey did a great job in Florida this winter. We've got Renzo for a few weeks now. Joel actually worked him a few times down at Palm Meadows. He's pretty push button, and for now, I mean, Renzo's doing a great job coming up through the Belmont. I think if we need to use Joel next week, that's a possibility. It's up to Kieran.
Obviously, you guys skipped the Preakness. American Pharaoh, very impressive in the Preakness. What needs to happen for you guys to be able to turn the tables off that good closing fourth in the Derby?
Hey, American Pharaoh has done nothing wrong. He's a good horse. We're fresh. That's probably our biggest advantage, just being fresh and happy, and we're carrying good weight.
Well, you guys won the Belmont with Jazzle. You're going to try to do it again with Frost. Do you see any similarities or two different type of horses?
They're very different, but there's a lot of similarities, both fourth in the Derby, freshening up, skipping the Preakness. You have a little deja vu now and then.
Well, I sure hope it works out again for you. Good luck.
Thanks, Rich.
One of the good guys in racing, a top-class assistant. He's been with Kieran McLaughlin quite a while, many years, and Art Magnuson has carved out a nice living for himself and his family. He's got to work and with so many top-class talented horses, and he's won so many races. But how about the current hot streak this McLaughlin operation has been on? It seems like for the last 2 months, their percentage at Belmont is right around 40, maybe 43%. How about the bounces going their way heading into the Test of the Champion?
Well, that's what you want. You want a barn to be hot. You want everything going their way. And you got to think with just that confidence level going into it that they're going to make all the right choices. I just think that they do such a great job, and it's such a great team, and it's fun to watch good people be rewarded.
All right, we'll see Kieran's horses in action on this Friday edition of Belmont Insider. 9 races, 22K, pick 6 carryover. But what about the opening leg of Friday's late pick 4? Let's see what shook out at the Big B with the 11 Triple Crown winners in the foreground, and Larry Colmus coming to the foreground as well with the call up in the booth of race 6.
They're all in line. They're off. Icefield on the inside out well. Sleeping Giant and Ackerman Road are right there too. These 3 will go at it early on. Then Delta Outlaw, Salsa Dog to the inside. And right in behind them is Take Cover, who's 5 lengths off the lead and just to the outside of Maybe a Diamond. Then it's back to Global Warrior, and Alapatique trails the field. It is Sleeping Giant and Ackerman Road together as they race for the turn. These 2 side by side through a 22 and 3 opening quarter mile. Ackerman Road on the outside by a head. Sleeping Giant at the rail is second. Delta Outlaw comes after them 3 wide. Then it's Salsa Dog, Icefield down toward the rail, followed by Take Cover, who's going to go outside of horses with 4 lengths to make up. And then comes Maybe a Diamond and Global Warrior, and they're coming toward the top of the stretch. And it is Ackerman Road on the outside, Sleeping Giant and Delta Outlaw and Take Cover. Down the center of the course, trying to come and get them. Icefield rallies up the rail. Final furlong, Sleeping Giant, Delta Outlaw, Take Cover on the far outside, and Icefield along the rail. The 4 of them will come down to the line together, and it will be maybe Sleeping Giant. Icefield was right there, too. Then Take Cover and Delta.
Larry Colmus earned his money with this stretch battle and call at the wire. Maybe he hedged a little bit, say the horse to his outside was right there, but I'll tell you what a gritty effort here out of this colt by Red Giant.
Yeah, I mean, just the way Sleeping Giant stuck his neck out. You could see he doesn't want to be passed. He's got his tongue hanging out a la Michael Jordan coming to the wire, and he just did eke out the victory. But a good call from Larry, even if he did hedge just a bit.
Just a tad. We'll give him an A+ here on the show, as that photo for win essentially has 4 horses separated by just a neck. And all those bounces, the ones that have seemingly gone the right way for Kieran McLaughlin, his barn came up just a half a head short down on the rail with Icefield. But any way you slice it, this was an exciting race and a very good return to the races for this colt, who is by Red Sleeping Giant out of an American Chance mare and kept some pretty good company on this circuit as a 2-year-old for Steve Asmussen.
No, he really did, and I just like his gameness. And you also got to like the finish from Junior Alvarado. He's a strong guy, and all of his strength was on display there.
Reload, Not a Cat But a Llama, Unbridled Ocean, Plainview. That is the crew we have to look forward to in Friday's featured 8th race on a gorgeous, picture-perfect Friday in Elmont, New York. Stay tuned. This is Belmont Insider. New York Breds get their day in the spotlight. This Memorial Day, Monday, will be open for business with a 10-race card. It is Big Apple Showcase Day, round number 1. Some giant fields and 7 stakes lined up throughout the card.
And I like that the Big Apple Showcase Days have expanded. There's a need for it. We've got so many good New York Breds, and it gives them a time to shine. I think there's 3 Showcase Days now.
Yep.
And always a good day, and always even more fun that we get to cover it on MSG.
Looking forward to that. 5 p.m. post time for the New York Racing Series. We'll have Andy and Maggie with us as well. Larry C. up in the booth. And without further ado, we'll get it back up to Larry, who could take us through the call of Friday's 7th race as we continue to march forward in this Friday Late Pick 4.
They're off. White Bay on the far outside with early speed. All hands from the inside. And between those two, it's the Truth or Else. And then it's Good Picnic. Combat Diver will settle at the back of the field early on. 3 lengths off the lead as they head up the backstretch where All Hands leads White Bay. These two setting the pace here, and they're a neck apart. And now Combat Diver has gained third just to the inside of the Truth or Else. Good Picnic is last. Not far behind, though. 2.5 lengths off the lead. 24-3 was the first quarter. Up the backstretch they go. Jose Ortiz and All Hands lead the way by a length. And Combat Diver has progressed into second on the inside of White Bay. Between those two, there goes the Truth or Else with an early move here. And the Truth or Else is just outside of All Hands now as they race for the turn. Good Picnic still at the rear of the field. A 49 flat half mile. And it is All Hands in front. The Truth or Else dead even now. Outside of them comes White Bay in third. Good Picnic circles up on the far outside. And Combat Diver will wait for running room down at the rail. Around the far turn, All Hands starting to give way under the whip. Here's Good Picnic on the far outside, running up to take the lead after 3 quarters in 1:13-2. Good Picnic on the outside, and the Truth or Else, and these two turn for home together, and they have put the others away. It's Good Picnic, and on the inside, the Truth or Else, stride for stride in the final furlong. The Truth or Else and Joel Rosario have the lead. Good Picnic giving way late to the Truth or Else, who wins it by a length and a half in the end. Over Good Picnic, White Bay was third.
We got the truth. When you get away from American Pharaoh, Competitive Edge, Blofeld, Daredevil, and you bounce into an allowance race, you're probably going to win.
Well, the Truth or Else, this is the first time he's been out of stakes company since he broke his maiden 7 starts ago, 7 consecutive stakes bids, and found the allowance company a little more to his liking.
Called by Yes It's True, trained by Ken McPeak. Good to see Harold Lerner, who's the majority owner in the winner's circle with his silks, purple and lavender diamonds. Harold, a familiar face here on the New York Racing Association circuit, owns a lot of horses with Ken McPeak, Gary Contessa, and donates a large check every single December over at Aqueduct to the Toys for Tots program.
Yeah, and that's the kind of people you want to see good things happen for. Somebody who supports the game and supports good causes so much, so congratulations to them. This horse, though, the way he won this allowance race gives you the feeling like he's going to step back up in a stakes company in the not-too-distant future.
Second half of the 3-year-old season is coming up. In fact, right after the Belmont Stakes, Ken McPeak, Joel Rosario, and a good effort in defeat as well from the gray 3-year-old by Tappet to his outside, Good Picnic. I don't think we have any horses by Tappet in race number 8, but we do have a good crew in a race that really looks like a grade 3 on paper. Larry Colmus with the call as they turn up the backside here on the Widener.
And it is Plainview on the inside. Storming into you, Not a Cat But a Llama will sit third up the backstretch and just off the top 2. Reload is in fourth, 4 lengths off the lead. And then comes Unbridled Ocean, and Slim Shady trails the field. 23-4 was the first quarter. Up the backstretch, Jose Lezcano and Plainview lead the way, and they're getting away to a 3/4 length lead now over Storming Inti. Not a Cat but a Llama kept close to them, and Reload is in fourth right now and traveling well, 4 lengths off the lead. Then it's Unbridled Ocean, and Slim Shady is last. Plainview and Storming Inti lead the field into the turn, and Not a Cat but a Llama is edging up alongside, and Reload's getting closer with every stride after a 47 1/2 mile. They've left Unbridled Ocean and Slim Shady behind around the far turn. Plainview on the inside, Storming Inti between, Not a Cat but a Llama. And Javier Castellano and Reload are fourth and gaining ground on the far outside. And they're into the stretch. Plainview, Reload with a rush on the far outside. And he's just gone right on by. And Reload's running away. Javier Castellano just took a peek at the board right next to the turf course, and Reload is going to romp away from this field in hand as Slim Shady comes from last for second. Unbridled Ocean got up for third, and then came Not a Cat but a Llama and Plainview.
I watched this race with Eric Donovan in my office upstairs. They're about to turn off the bend into the stretch. It's Plainview, Not a Cat but a Llama. Reload's picking them up 3 wide. Eric turned to me and goes, "This is going to be a tight stretch battle." It wasn't. Within a stride and a half, Reload had blown the race apart, and boy, oh boy, was this a good effort.
This was a huge effort, and he drew up easily, and then he was geared down by Javier Castellano. For people that don't think this horse could have run a lot faster, they need to really watch this horse's body language coming to the wire. He basically went from a run to a canter under the finish line. I'm sure he could have run at least 3 or 4/5 of a second faster.
And it's 1-20 that Shug McGahee was relieved and very happy, and he was standing with the MiG after Reload crushed the field in the feature.
Shug, Reload was very impressive today. Did you expect that big an effort out of him?
I got to tell you, Richie, no. I mean, he'd been training around here fine, but nothing to see that. I'd just been training him on the dirt here, and his works were good, but there was nothing outstanding. And I was just happy to get him going again, you know, and see him run the way he did today and run a mile and 33 and change was pretty impressive.
And he was geared down, and it kind of left the impression he could do more. I mean, he certainly earned a shot to step up into the mile division.
Oh, I would think so, Richie. I mean, off that, I think that definitely we'll have to start looking at something.
One thing that impressed me when he came in the winner's circle, he's kind of a big, stout horse, but he's really light on his feet. Has he always been like that?
Yeah, you know, he was a horse that when he was a 2-year-old, he was like our pick. And then something happened in the spring where he didn't come up till later on. And, you know, then I mean, obviously we thought he was probably begging for the turf. I worked him on the turf a couple times at Payson 2 or 3 years ago, and he didn't work that well on him. But then if you look at his chart, he ran really good on the poly track. He ran really good in the slop. And then his form sort of tailed off. And then I worked him on the turf winter before last and at Payson, and he was like track record thing. Then you saw that, you know, the 3 times we've run it on him, he's won. So
he's just super impressive. I mean, that was about as impressive a performance I've seen on the turf by another horse not named Wise Dan in the last few years.
Well, I agree, and Javier was just telling me, he said, you know, he did everything right. He said, I could have been on the lead, I could have been wherever I wanted to be, but I thought I'd just go on and cover him up. And when I swung him to the outside, he said, I just had a ton of horse.
Great job. Congratulations.
Thank you, Richie.
No cobwebs off that 15-month layoff. Shug pretty happy, pretty relieved. And look, there is room in this division. Who knows with Wise Dan? We hope he's doing okay, but stakes are in the future for Reload.
This horse is just so impressive, and just what a great training job. To bring a horse off a 15-month layoff to deliver a performance like that, credit to Shug McGahee and his crew.
Black and Cherry, Javier 1-2 today. Let's get on to a few other highlights on the card. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 9 on an idyllic Friday at the Downs.
And Money Game on the far outside, a 47 flat half mile. They come to the final furlong, and Benny's Bullet has gone by De Princess. Benny's Bullet now in front, De Princess second, and then comes Chelsea Road and Money Game battling for third, but the opener goes to Eric Consell and Benny's Bullet. They're going to win it by 3 in the end over De Princess. Chelsea Road was third, a 4-length expanding lead here. 3/4 and 1/13 flat, and they're into the stretch, and it's all Silver Silence. Silver Silence by 6. 7 Stars clings to second. Broadway Music Gal's coming up the rail, and Rock Show is on the outside, but they're all far behind Silver Silence. Silver Silence, a convincing winner here by 8 lengths in the end over Rock Show. And then it was 7 Stars in Broadway Music Gal. Milano turned for home in front by 2, shaking away from Rick Ant in second after 3/4 and 1, 13 and 2. They're into the stretch, and Bird Prince has put them away. Bird Prince by 5, coming down to the 16th pole, well ahead of Rick Ant, who's trying to hold on for second behind Talk Time and Mr. Canada. Under the wire, Bird Prince could not have won any easier, and Talk Time comes from last for second. Third is very close, a photo between Mr. Canada and Rick Ant. 15 flat, they're into the stretch, and Freudian is the leader. Lutheran Miss and Graceful Gal angles off the rail now, and she's up into second. Lutheran Miss is given way to third. It's between Freudian and Graceful Gal, and Freudian's got run left in her. Graceful Gal making a run, but not good enough to catch Freudian, who wins it by just over a length. Graceful Gal was second, Funky Monkey Fever was third, and Lutheran Miss fourth. They're into the stretch, and Knack is the leader. Too Good to Be True. Welcome Speech is right behind them. Down toward the inside comes Dial Empress. Gimme Jimmy on the far outside, final furlong. Too Good to Be True, Knack, Welcome Speech on the inside. Comes on through. They're coming down to the line, and it is going to be Too Good to Be True to beat Welcome Speech by a head on the wire. Then Weather Vane along the rail, followed by Dixie Gem. Just enough Dior on the far outside, and Mill Point Creek is trying to mount a late rally between horses. Final furlong, Weekend Score still there from Mohawk Lily. On the far outside, Meat and Khartoum is next, and then comes Mill Point Creek, who's running on late, down on the inside, and Dixie Gem, but they're coming down to the wire, and it's Weekend Score to win it. Mill Point Creek got second on the rail, then a photo between Dixie Gem and Mohawk Lily.
Been a good few days at Belmont Park. Trainer Gary Contessa, winner Wednesday, winner Thursday, and a winner in the nightcap. It was pretty game and determined. Weekend Score.
Well, and you see that again. We talk about barns going good, just the atmosphere in the barn, and everything starts to gel. And Gary Contessa's always been a trainer that gets streaky.
Any given Saturday filly on the turf in the nightcap. We'll water that turf. We'll have it ready for you for the 3-day extended Memorial Day weekend card. There is plenty of grass at Belmont Park over the next few days, and the rider standings on a Friday in which only Javier Castellano and Jose Ortiz walked away with a riding double.
When Irad Ortiz keeping that 3-win lead, they still haven't cut into his margin yet, although in behind Angel Cruz they're starting to get there. And you know Javier Castellano is not going quietly into the night.
A couple of riders won too. Well, we had 9 different trainers who won a race today at Belmont.
Nice. Spread the wealth. We want to see everybody do good.
Absolutely. Same could be said for the owner standings. That has not changed from last night's show. 8 and 6. And Godolphin, who's got frosted in the Belmont Stakes with 4, along with 3 with a whole bunch of people. And how about some claims on a sunny Friday afternoon? 3-way shake for 7 Stars. A 3-way shake in the same race for Silver Silence. And Bird Prince, who galloped away for Ian Wilkes, had a 2-way shake on him.
And David Jacobson seems to always get the bounces when it comes to the shake.
That's for sure. We've got our Saturday preview coming up. The Paradise Creek on the turf at beautiful Belmont. Be a part of history. Do not get shut out. We are capping attendance at 90,000 on Belmont Stakes Day 147. It's an easy game. You've got time, limited time on your side, but don't wait. Do it now for general admission.
You want to be here. The best racing and the potential to see history. It's been 37 years since the last time it happened. I was here. I was a little boy. I hope this isn't the last one I'm going to see if it happens.
I'd love to see one. I was 6 months old when you were here as a little boy in a firm.
You remember it, though?
Yeah, I do. Yeah, parents sat me on the couch and I was hooked. That made me a lifer. 1978 Belmont Stakes. I do remember Paradise Creek. He was running when I was in high school. Monster of a turf horse for Belmont. We'll have his namesake tomorrow, and look at that. Belmont's got the horse to beat in a lot.
Yeah, and this horse gives me the impression of a horse when he hits the front and he gets clear, he gets to pulling up, and he gets caught here. Anytime he's won, the 2 races he won, he's made the lead late. I think he's a horse that needs a target, and I think he will get a target going 7 furlongs on the turf here at Belmont.
American Pharaoh dusted Bridget's Big Lovey last time out in the Arkansas Derby. This horse will try his luck on the turf for Jeremiah Engelhart. start.
And he's got a couple of turf works. They look pretty good. They take the blinkers off. They turn back in distance. You'd want to believe that they're probably trying to get him to relax and settle and finish a little on the grass, although he's been most effective showing speed. It'll be interesting to see how he takes to the lawn.
Little Johnny V, Belmont on the outside, the Hall of Fame duo with the 400K yearling purchase by Tappet in a lot, and we've got a lot of talent joining us here on the show as we send it to Andy and Maggie.
Thanks a lot, guys. Well, when I look at race 5 on Saturday's card, there's a lot of horses in this race that I just don't really want to play. I don't know the kind of form they're coming into this race. I'm not sure they're good enough. But a horse I do want to play is the 8, Mr. Rosenthal, who I think you'll get a decent enough price, maybe in the 7-2, 4-1 range, on a horse that's good turf races are just good enough to win this race, and I think he'll benefit from his return off the layoff because he went 2 turns that day. The race was wired on the front end, and I think he's more effective at a 1-turn, 7-furlong distance. I think Mr. Rosenthal's the one coming in this race in the best form, and I think he's going to prove the best horse over Nonstop, and a little bit of a long shot in this race to throw in is the 5, Rockford, as we head out to Maggie.
Why, thank you, Andy, as we look forward to the start of this Memorial Day weekend. It's hard to believe it's already here. It's been early this year, and the weather's still a bit cool, but not for the racing on this Saturday card. We'll check in with race number 3 for your Paddock Insider, and going with a bit of a long shot. Yes, you have the likes of Chad Brown in this allowance race for fillies and mares going the 7 furlongs on the turf, but I'm going to look at, as I eat my hair, number 2, Equilateral in here. She's second off a layoff, and she did battle hard in that dirt race. But what I loved was her appearance in the paddock. She improved vastly from last year to this one. She's only had 1 start on the turf, and I always felt as though she might like it, despite that poor finish going 1 mile and a 16th. She cuts back in distance. She's proven that she likes sprinting on the dirt, so why can't she do it on the turf? So I'm going to take a bit of a shot with Equilateral tomorrow for your Paddock Insider. Jay, Mig, back to you.
Good luck to those two with their horses tomorrow on a 9-race Saturday program that gets underway at 1:20 p.m. And we bring in that $300,000 guaranteed late pick 4. You can watch, wager, and win at the new NYRA.com with that $300K pick 4. And we do spice things up regarding the incentive to check out the new look NYRA.com. You've got to do it at NYRA.com, not NYRawards.com. Put in that ticket, log in, top right of the NYRA.com homepage, and you take down that pick 4. We will give you a 10% winner's bonus capped at $200 right here at beautiful Belmont Park on Saturday, May 23rd. Memorial Day weekend, the Lonely 11 out there in the infield. They need some company with American Pharaoh. We'll say let's go Rangers, and we do it all again tomorrow beginning at 1:20. Have a great night, everybody.